Welcome to Mark D. Maker. Today we're going to be working on the body of an owl in flight. Come on over to the workbench. Let's get started. All right, so here we have some furrows cut in here and here. And these have a nice arched, round fullness to them. We're going to be drawing in feathers, and here a row of feathers that come up these furrows. And here are going to be really big feathers. As the feathers get closer to the feet, they get bigger, and as the feathers get up closer to the head, they get smaller. So we're going to cut in this one and this one, smooth them and round them so they're nice landscaped hills, and we'll draw them in. All right, we got the square stump cutter in, carbide cutter bit. I'm going to brace this against my leg, brace this arm against my body. Okay, now that's established a line. I can speed it up a little bit and dig in a little bit. Turning the bird. I'm going to take a piece of sandpaper right where this hard edge is here. And here, I'm going to round that out a little bit just with some sandpaper, just ease the edge. And you can see how this makes for a nice place to lay out your feathers to give them that very full look here. Now, I've done a little work to the feet since I last showed them. These were simply blocks. And I just did V-cuts. V-cuts in this way and V-cuts in this way. The way an owl's toes are, 2 toes in the front, 2 toes in the back. Sand it a little bit. Now I'll probably leave these back toes and talons the way they are, but I believe I'm gonna remove the front ones and make them more up in a like an attack position or a landing position with those two toes up in the air. Right now, you could almost make them to sit on a branch, and that would be a pretty nice look. On to laying out the feathers. All right, so what we want to do for our feather layouts on the chest here is, like I said, you're going to start off big feathers down by the feet and move smaller upwards. So we're just going to start by feathers like so, almost like the letter J. And you want them varied. You don't want them exactly symmetrical or stacked perfectly, and a lot of people like organization and repetition, but you don't get that in birds. So you have to try to become a little bit, force yourself to be a little random. Make some bigger ones and make some smaller ones. We're going to do the same thing over here. See how this one comes up a little higher over here, this one comes up a little higher over there. This is good. You want that. You want a little bit of randomness. And big feathers down here. Big sweeping. So this feather goes from here all the way to here. Kind of use the arch of your hand, brace your small finger, your little finger. Just use the arch of your hand to create a nice arching sweep. And we'll do that up here as well. Now I might come in and refine this a little bit. I got a little bit of an edge there, but we'll be coming in with a ruby ball and undercutting all these feathers, and it'll actually go pretty quick. So there we go. That lays out the feathers from here to here. What do you think of those daylilies? Gorgeous, huh? So here I have a medium-sized ruby ball. I have one that's smaller than one smaller and one that's larger than this. So this is right in the middle, and I'm following these lines that I drew, staying right on the line and just cutting a channel. Now you'll hear me say this again later, but this is important. The feathers that are closest to the feet are bigger and they're cut deeper. As you go up towards the head, they get smaller and are more shallow cut. When I'm using a ruby ball like this, I do a fairly light touch. I'm not pressing hard. The weight of the tool is actually giving me the depth. When I want deeper cuts, I go in, on the bigger feathers. When I want the deeper cuts, I'll go back 2 or 3 times and really start to put a little pressure and get the deeper cuts. By having an established channel there, it ensures less mess ups. If you go in and just push down hard into a cut, the first time it's contacting the wood, it could take off on you. The bit could grab the wood and cause you to have a mistake. So just in case there's any confusion, what I'm doing here is I initially cut in a channel and then I'm removing one sharp edge of that channel. I'm leaving one sharp edge of that channel. If you start from the bottom and move up and just take off every other edge, you'll have some nice feathers there. As you watch me here, I'm removing the lower ledge. Just a real light touch and back and forth. Looking up and down, just enough to take off that ledge. Just enough to remove the edges, give it a nice transition there, nice and smooth, and then we'll go in and hand sand that with a detail sander. So to spare you from all this sanding that I'm doing, I'll just show you that I did sand all these edges. Now I took the ruby ball and I did smooth it out somewhat, but then I took sandpaper and really got in here and sanded this smooth. But you can see these feathers now have a multiple direction. They arch across this way, they're big at the end, and they go smaller as they almost undercut to here. And each one of those, you can feel it. It's a step, 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 step. And then we'll smooth these edges. Everything needs to be to feel smooth to the touch. You don't want any sharp edges. This needs sanding right in here. Let's see, this is looking good here. This all looks really good here. All right, so I've switched here from a larger ball to a smaller ruby ball. They're both rubies. I like to use rubies because they give you a smooth cut. They're less aggressive. Diamonds just really cut way too fast for basswood and really makes them fuzzy. The rubies do a really nice job though. So I'm switch to a smaller one here for these feathers. So as you're doing this, what I call landscaping here, putting in these lines and setting up the feathers, you want to be thinking about texturing, because you're setting up to texture. We're going to texture next. And when you're texturing, you're going to be thinking about setting up for painting. When you get this in mind and you start working and you get used to thinking like this, things will start to move so much smoother and easier for you. So next time, we're going to be landscaping and detailing the body of the owl. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.